Right, hello everyone. I'm with Joanne Lazarus, who's on my, I think it's your right or left, I don't know how this works, but she's on one side of me. And Joanne is mum of Jade Lazarus, who I went to school with, and that's how this comes about. She's got a fantastic, interesting life story and does interesting things every single day, I would say. She's not your average character, and that's what this whole podcast is about and show's about, is showing you what people in everyday life, what they go through and what they're doing, and interesting, unusual stories. So, without further ado, one of the most interesting things for me that you've done is you moved abroad.
I did, yes.
Which is something that I've loved and always wanted to do.
Right.
And it's still something I look to do, is to move over to California.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we start by just explaining the thought process that went through moving to Spain, and then what it's like living there, and how you come back, and those kind of things.
The thought process was, it was something I'd always wanted to do. I always had a dream, and I always think you should reach your dreams, go for your dreams.
I agree.
And I wanted to have a change of lifestyle with my family. So my husband agreed. And because when I was younger, I used to work on cruise liners. So I've been travelling a little bit around the world on ships when I was young, free and single.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
And
yes.
Jade, your daughter, did that also.
Yes.
Does that have known what you did, or is it just...
Possibly, yeah. So I've already got it in me to have a little bit of a, what do you call it, itchy feet?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just decided, I said to my husband, let's go live in Spain. So the daft thing we did was to sell our house. We should have kept the house, but that's another story.
Happens.
I had 5.5 fabulous years there.
Okay.
I opened a drama school for the expat community, the children.
Oh, okay, I know that.
Formed massive circle of children and the parents. So the parents would wait in the bar while the drama class was going on. But I'd go and sit with them afterwards. But we did loads. We did pantomimes, we did shows. I got the children to write their own scripts. We did all sorts.
Was this in English at this point?
It was an English one, yeah. And the nice thing was, I actually had Spanish children come who wanted to learn English.
Okay.
And I had quite a lot of children. I had a fabulous thing going on there.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So,
and again, the whole drama thing, you've always been involved in drama from a young age?
Always.
And you like experimenting, acting, or...
It started off at school.
Okay.
In high school, I had a part in Toad of Toad Hall, and I loved it.
Okay.
I wasn't a main part. And then the second play that we did was Hobson's Choice, and I was the lead part.
I've heard of these plays, but I wouldn't know what they were.
Yeah.
They'd come in the face, but I've heard
of
them.
Well, I was the lead part. It was Maggie.
Okay.
And I just felt, how can I put it? I felt like I was at home.
Almost, or?
Yeah, I thought, I can do this. This was it. It was so easy for me. I'm rubbish at maths and I'm rubbish at English and I struggle.
Okay.
But I realised going home, taking the script home, doing that part of Maggie, it was, to me, very easy. I could just do it.
Felt like you're calling almost to this kind of...
I suppose
work.
So, yeah.
Yeah?
And it was something I always wanted to do, but I was always too embarrassed to tell people that I wanted to be an actor.
Really?
Could never decide anything else I wanted to do at school.
And what were your parents like? Well, you didn't mention it to them. Were they...
Didn't mention it at first.
Okay.
I was too embarrassed. It was only later on, after I'd had Jade, that one of my mum's friends said to me, why don't you go and be an actress? Because I'd given up work to, raise Jade.
Sure.
And I says, don't be silly. She said, well, that's what you've always wanted to do. Do it now while you're not working.
Yeah,
and I thought, So I took myself off to drama school, but an evening drama school.
Yeah. And
it just escalated.
So what kind of stuff have you done acting-wise, and what would you like to do?
What would I like to do? I would love a massive contract in an ongoing drama. Unfortunately, I've never got there.
Okay.
I'm not giving up yet.
Don't do that.
I'm not going to. I've done more than I've not done. I've done loads of fabulous parts. I've been in Cold Feet. I was in Benidorm when I lived in Spain.
Oh, wow.
Something called Stand the Man. So I worked with John Thompson. I once played the daughter of Eric Sykes. So that was good. Do you know who Eric Sykes is?
No, I'm going to keep nodding and pretending I do.
Yeah, well, don't admit you don't know who Eric Sykes is. When I found out I was playing with Eric Sykes, I was like, what? And I actually went, how am I going to do this?
Oh, really?
He is big. He was big. He was big, yeah. Have a look at the Carry On films.
Ah, right,
the
okay,
Goons,
from there.
Spike Milligan.
Okay, I've heard of these things.
Yeah, big. And I was very nervous to do that. But I did it, and I'm very proud of myself. So I've done some really good things. I've worked with the Cold Feet cast, because I had a part on Cold Feet.
Okay.
What else have I done? I've done Emmerdale.
You've done advertisements as well, haven't you?
I've got a couple of adverts. One of them still on television, stupid one where I'm cheesy daytime advert. I like doing the adverts for the money, but I like
not the passion. It's not the passion.
You go, you film it, you go home, and then you see yourself on TV. 4 years later, I'm still seeing myself on TV.
Is that really the case? Wow.
Yeah.
That's
but
incredible.
It's fine. It's funny when you turn the television on. There I am. I'm on television.
See, I've obviously had my own experiences on The Apprentice being on TV, but obviously mine is what I filmed. What was shown on TV is very different from the editing. Do you find often that the part that you thought you were doing or the way it was supposed to come across differently? Do you like watching yourself back, or I sometimes don't like it, if I'm honest with you.
I cringe watching myself back, but I know exactly what's there because it's scripted.
Right.
So I've been directed, I've been scripted. Sometimes I think, oh, they didn't put that line in, or they didn't put that line in. But on the whole, I know the sort of
you know what
thing.
to expect.
So whereas you did kind of like reality TV.
Yeah, well, it was reality TV.
And they can make you how they want to make you. So you might have said something in one way and they've made it look another way. Yeah. So they can either make you look up there or make you look
absolutely
down there.
Yeah, that was a challenge for me, I must say.
That's with reality TV. The shame is with reality TV, it stopped a lot of actors.
Okay.
Because actors don't like reality TV.
Okay.
Because it stopped a lot of acting parts going on. So because the TV companies now are putting reality TV on, it's cheaper for them to make reality TV. So my acting unfortunately has gone down.
Really?
Which is a shame, yeah.
So when
I'm not blaming you, by the way.
Yeah, please don't.
I'm not blaming you personally. No.
The Apprentice kind of just happened.
No.
So that's it. So it's interesting. So in terms of your acting, you said you wanted to do like a longer series, like a Coronation Street type thing. You love to be.
I'd love that.
Is that the kind of series?
Anything. If you're an actor, you want to do anything. I don't know what it is. It's great being somebody else. It's weird. Sometimes I think, oh, I want to play that. I wish I was that sort of person. And you can get to play it. Last week I was in a play. I was at the Oldham Coliseum. And I got to play this Liverpudlian, how can I put it, working class woman who started World War III on Facebook. And I was swearing. I was in Liverpudlian accent. I was in stage with my dressing gown and my slippers on. And... it was fun. I loved it.
So you get to kind of live vicariously through other people and stuff.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And have you ever found a character that you thought, you know what, I like? Do you ever go, I like bits of that character's personality, I'm going to adopt that myself, or does that never really happen? Do you ever learn something through being a character that changes perception in real life? I've
learned loads because through my acting, it takes me onto medical role play. I've learned loads doing that. And that's
that's really good. Life. So tell me more about what that is, because you mentioned just before we started filming, and I was interested by it because of my own medical health and stuff. So what do you do, and what is it, and tell me about it.
So a lot of actors now, you know how if you're a resting actor, you work in a bar or work in a restaurant, things like that.
A resting actor, is that what it's called? Resting.
Yes,
okay.
If you're resting,
I like it.
Now what a lot of resting actors do, which means in between auditions.
I see.
It's become really, really, really big to do medical role play. So I'm classed as a simulated patient, and I go in as an actor, as a role player, to medical exams, student doctors, GPs who are doing test of competence, psychiatric interviews. For the psychiatric world, when a doctor of a GP wants to become a psychiatrist, so I play a psychiatric patient sometimes. Sometimes I play the mother of somebody who's having maybe a mother who's got dementia or something.
Oh, wow.
Because the doctors have got to learn how to deliver information to you. So when you see a doctor, he would have had training of how to deliver the information to you. Because believe it or not, the doctor's life now is also about customer service.
Yeah, of course. Everyone is. Yeah.
And you can't tell somebody something scary. You've got to do it in a certain way. So I've ended up doing a lot of medical role play so I can be sitting in a room, I can have a student doctor there, and next to me is a professor or a consultant of something or another.
Okay.
So it's great because I always ask them, so what do you do? And if they say, oh, I do child psychology, or I say, oh, brilliant. And I get loads of information about my own son. Which I'll tell you about in a minute.
Yeah, sure.
But I've learned loads.
That's amazing.
Loads of stuff I didn't know before. and it's made me a better person, made me a stronger person, that I could always speak to other people before, of all walks of
life and stuff.
But I can talk to people now more about the problems. If somebody's got a problem, I understand what they're going through sometimes because I've played it.
Okay.
And I've had advice from all these. I mean, I might play the same person in one day 20 times.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're playing it to different doctors or training doctors?
Yeah. And I've got to do it in a certain way. And it's all been researched. So all my symptoms are always real. And I make them real.
Okay. So you're living and breathing the diagnosis, that's the idea.
Basically, for that day.
Wow.
Anyway. And then, but I could be somebody else the next day. I could be something else the next day.
Does that actually, I've always thought it's with actors, and I've heard it with method actors. So when I was on The Apprentice, one of the sound engineers was once punched in the face by Tom Hardy, who was playing Fagin. He was so into his role that he forgot to kind of like turn it off. Has that ever happened with you where you've kind of been so into a role, like particularly with, I'm assuming, like medical stuff, doing that 20 times over? Has nothing ever happened to you where you've kind of thought, you get a bit crazy now because you've acted this so many times over that at night time taking it back?
It's not that, but the fact of doing it over and over, you can actually feel, if I'm playing somebody with depression.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I feel depressed.
And do you go home and how do you kind of get out of that? Right, so we were just talking before the little break there about almost taking a role home. So what it's like after playing the same character day in, day out for these medical assessments and then not taking that back home with you or any of those kind of attributes.
You do, as an actor, learn to switch off, but you can also, if you're doing something like all of last week, I was actually doing something quite depressive. I think I was having to be told my life was at an end on one of them.
That's what I'm trying to say, exactly that.
And they were delivering how my hospice visit was going to be.
Oh, wow.
And, and as the day got on and on, I said to one of the other role players, I said, I'm not having a good day today. It's quite hard, this. And I didn't like actually saying the words, but then by the time I got home, I got in my car and I thought, right, let's put the radio on. Let's just get some music on here.
To get you out of the same mind.
You've got to get it out your head, because somebody would be given those words at some point. And I thought to myself, God, this is scary. Somebody, God forbid, one day
really getting that for
could
real
say
life.
that. Yeah.
Wow.
Because it was real doctors having to do, and I would say to the consultant who's next to me, I says, have you had to say all this to people? And they go, oh yeah. And your reaction's brilliant. You're reacting really well, and because you've got to do a certain reaction to them. But yeah, you've got to switch off. But if say somebody's doing something long going on a soap, for example, you find it hard to switch off because you've got to get into character. You've got to feel what's going on. And you've got to feel it from within inside you. It's not just a matter of putting a costume on or putting your hair up and then you're that person. It's got to come from within. So you've got to literally believe what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this recorded or didn't record, but I remember when I was on The Apprentice, one of the sound engineers how was hit by Tom Hardy, because Tom Hardy was in character, and I think the sound engineer asked to put his microphone on again or something, and he was playing Fagin, and so he just latched out at him. And I've heard him do before, he's bit someone's ear, there's some actors out there that are proper method actors that really get so into the role they lose themselves almost, and they have to go to get checked in to sort themselves out, which seems crazy to me, but...
Unfortunately, I've never been in that situation to be like a Tom Hardy. Whenever I've done an acting role, it's like been 3 or 4 days filming, and that's it.
That's fair enough. It's more than I've done, I suppose, in some respects.
But you do. You get to feel it. You do get to feel it. But it's this role play stuff that I'm doing. It's just I find it interesting.
It does sound interesting. Coming back to real life, talking, you've actually got son, haven't you, with, is it autism?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So what's that like living with that, and then how did that compare England to Spain as to living with him there and here?
Well, when we were in Spain, he was a baby. He was younger,
right?
And I actually remember being called into school because he couldn't speak at the time. Because if you got autism, you got like a speech delay. Okay. I genuinely thought it's because he's English and we're in a Spanish school. I put him in Spanish school hoping he'd learn Spanish.
Oh, okay.
So I just ignored it. And it's only when we got home into the junior school, it was them who said, and I remember one day that this teacher came up to me, we were in the playground, and she said, Mrs. Lazarus, I just want to let you know, we think Kobe's got autism. He's not got a diagnosis, but I'm going to start the process of getting a statement for you. You will thank me in years to come when he goes to high school. And I was like, what?
Shocking.
Statement? What's one of those? I didn't understand. She said, have I got your permission to do it? And I just went, yeah, because I thought at the time, well, the teacher knows best.
Yeah.
So they helped me get this statement into place. Now I'm so thankful because you need a statement to get further on in education.
Okay.
And socially, and then doors open for you.
And what is a statement? Is it just like a written piece?
It's a written, basically, it's a few pieces of paper. It's like a little form, and it says basically, Kobe Lazarus. It's got like academic special needs.
Oh, okay, and that helps you get to further help where
that's
needed.
Correct. Yeah, and then through the statement, you then get your appointment at the CAT. It was called CAMS at the time. I think we've changed the name now, which is the Child Psychiatric Unit. Because I then had to get a diagnosis for Kobe before we could get any social clubs for him, things like that.
Okay.
Because to put him in, the word is neurotypical child.
Okay.
In a neurotypical child's club, in a normal child's club.
Wow, these long words, eh?
Yeah. He used to stand in a corner, or he'd get bullied.
Right.
As he carries a soft toy with him.
Right.
And that's heartbreaking as a
Horrible.
parent to see your child. And I didn't understand why he was standing in the corner, but now I do. So the fact that because of the statements and because he's now got the diagnosis, which I had to fight for, by the way.
I'm sure.
He's very happy. In his own way, he's very happy.
So how old is he now?
He's 12.
12 years old. So is bar mitzvah coming up, or...?
He's got a bar mitzvah coming up. I don't think he's going to actually do his bar mitzvah in public.
Okay.
Bar mitzvah, for those who don't know, on YouTube,
yes.
When a Jewish boy becomes 13. So we're going to do a private ceremony.
Amazing.
On the Thursday morning, just with a couple of the blessings. That's all.
That's nice.
That's it. If
Amazing.
he does it on the Saturday, fantastic. If he doesn't,
So
I'm not putting him under pressure, because
that's amazing.
I'm one of these mums who I don't need to prove my son can do this and can do that. If he doesn't want to do it, don't do it. I'm not pressurising him.
I think you did right, and I think that's a nice place to leave things.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for your time today.
Thank
covered
you for
lots
chatting.
of variety range of subjects, and hopefully we'll see you again sometime.
Okay, thank you,
Thanks,
Charles.
Joanne. Cheers.